A CCTV camera in a woman's bedroom recorded her sleeping peacefully. But the moment she drifted into deep sleep, her blanket began sliding away, pulled by an unseen force. She didn't notice. Moments later, her foot jerked violently as though something had grabbed it. The door to her room slowly opened by itself. As her leg was pulled toward the hallway, she remained unaware, resting in a house where she was no longer sleeping alone. Another hunter returned alone to an abandoned site he once visited. Rumor said a strange female spirit lingered there, her eyes glowing in the dark. At first, only silence greeted him. Then, from across the field, two bright eyes appeared, hovering at an impossible height. The shape beneath them resembled the twisted body of a female ghost trapped like a dark shroud. When he tried to approach, the figure drifted away, then suddenly crossed the path right in front of him. Terrified, he stepped back as the apparition flashed across the road again, its movements unnatural and fast, as if drawn by his fear. In a forest beside a flowing river, a camping creator set up his tent for the night. As he spoke to his viewers, he heard the sound of many women talking and laughing behind him, a whole group. But when he turned around, no one was there. He set up a CCTV camera facing the woods.
Kayak manusia teman-teman yang gerombolan kayak bercanda.
Minutes later, the footage showed a ghostly figure resembling a poking standing near the tent. It remained motionless as the voices grew louder, drifting around him in the darkness like a gathering of unseen souls. Riding along a desolate road, a hunter suddenly encountered a woman crossing directly in front of him. Instead of avoiding her, he tried to approach. As he asked her to turn around, the woman slowly faced him.
Ini? Mana lagi, Cok? Neng, coba nengok atuh, Neng.
Her expression was twisted, her features impossibly distorted. Shocked, he stumbled backward as she continued staring. His voice cracked between gasps and nervous laughter, unsure whether to flee or keep speaking to the entity that now stood only a few steps away. A hunter from Kalimantan arrived at a forest village after locals reported seeing a floating figure drifting between the trees. He explored the area at night, surrounded by strange noises of bamboo striking, whispers, and heavy movement. With his light switched off, the sounds became even clearer. Then, at the edge of the trees, a pale figure hovered above the ground, drifting slowly through the darkness.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Itu di sana. Pocong melayang.
The hunter panicked, retreating into his tent as the apparition seemed to approach. His prayers filled the air while the entity continued to move silently through the forest. A ghost hunter named Ina walked down a narrow forest path rumored to be haunted. A female spirit stood ahead, blocking his way. Terrified, he turned back and took another route. But halfway along, the same spirit appeared, at this time perched high atop a tree, staring down at him.
Astaghfirullahalazim. Punten. Innalillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un.
He apologized repeatedly as he tried to pass. Her faint laughter echoed between the branches, drifting closer with each step. Late at night, a man awoke to strange knocking outside his home. He grabbed his camera and stepped into the hallway, following the sound. Objects moved on their own, the air filled with a sharp scent, and the doors creaked open by themselves. When he entered one of the rooms, the camera caught a shadow rushing across the floor.
Astagfirullahaladzim. Bikin gue emosi nih. Mulai bikin gue emosi. Astagfirullah, gak ada orang lagi. Gak ada lagi teman-teman. Muncul lu. Jangan berani ganggu gue. Astagfirullah.
Trying to confront it, he shouted angrily, but the presence continued to move around him. Behind the door, a dark figure suddenly appeared, its form like a shrouded corpse. The man panicked, calling out for his child as he backed away in fear. A ghost hunter from El Adventure traveled through an area known for unexplained sightings. As he walked, he felt as if something was following him. A white figure appeared ahead, slipping between the trees. When he approached, the apparition dissolved instantly. Later, after setting up camp, the forest grew unnaturally quiet.
Astagfirullahaladzim, lah kalau ini teman-teman, nampakkan diri guys. Gonto wangi guys.
Then, a pale form emerged once again, this time closer, standing directly in front of him before fading back into the shadows. The repeated appearances pushed him into fear as the unseen presence continued to circle him. In a remote forest, a man camped alone, surrounded by darkness. The night was filled with rustling leaves, snapping branches, and faint cries echoing from unseen places. When he peeked behind his tent, the camera captured a figure standing motionless in the dark, its eyes glowing like embers. As he approached, the spirit rose into the air, hovering without any sound. Hours later, more disturbances woke him again, drifting shapes, flashing lights, and the spirit reappearing just behind the tent. His prayers grew louder as the presence circled him through the night. Another investigator, Prana, entered a building believed by locals to be haunted. He walked room to room, finding nothing unusual. But after stepping outside, the camera captured a figure standing at the entrance, moving and silent. He fled the area, but the entity appeared again along the path, blocking his way. Each time he tried to move forward, the figure emerged from the darkness, as though guarding the abandoned structure and refusing to let him pass. One night, a ghost hunter explored a plantation owned by a friend who claimed to be terrorized at dusk by a red female apparition. At first, everything felt normal. Then a sharp, foul scent filled the air, thick and unnatural. As he scanned the trees, the camera captured a figure standing still among the branches, its form distorted and almost glowing. He froze, whispering prayers as the figure swayed unnaturally. The air grew heavier, the scent stronger, and the apparition inched closer each time he blinked. When he stepped forward, the figure vanished, only to reappear again, floating higher, as if rising from the darkness itself. In another night investigation, a hunter walked deep into the forest without realizing a figure had appeared behind him, a ghostly old woman staring directly at him. When he turned his camera forward, the same figure stood in the middle of the path, blocking his escape. His camera repeatedly blurred on its own as he whispered greetings and prayers. The entity shifted positions without moving, always reappearing ahead of him. Each time he tried to walk away, the spirit returned, forcing him into a chilling, tense encounter. In the continuation of the same investigation, he returned to finish the route he had abandoned. The road was empty, but strange noises grew louder around him, childlike voices, shifting winds, and footsteps behind him. Suddenly, a woman appeared walking ahead. When he tried to follow her, she vanished instantly. His motorcycle grew heavy as if something clung to it. The closer he rode to the end of the path, the louder the unseen presence became. When he looked back, nothing was there, but the feeling of being chased never left.
Allahu Akbar. Ini Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Illallah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. La ilaha illallah.
A ghost hunter returned to a plantation where, in a previous visit, a red apparition had chased him through the trees. This time, he hoped to interact with the entity. As he stepped deeper into the darkness, a strong scent of jasmine suddenly filled the air. The atmosphere shifted, thick and unsettling. He whispered prayers as the smell grew stronger. Then, the apparition appeared again, emerging from the shadows just a few steps ahead of him. The moment he moved closer, the figure vanished into the darkness, leaving behind only the lingering scent and the echo of his trembling breath. A storm forced a ghost hunter to stop his journey. Floodwater blocked the road, and he waited inside his vehicle as the rain intensified. Through the downpour, a pale figure appeared at a standing still at the edge of the light. He stepped out, trying to confirm what he saw. The figure vanished, then reappeared behind him. Lightning flickered across the scene as he ran back to safety, realizing that something was moving around him through the rain.
La ilaha illallah, ketabrak kamu, ketabrak kamu.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye bye.